Well, welcome to my channel, Maryborn ND and Gardening with Granny. And today is a fabulous, beautiful day. You can see in the background the beautiful blue sky. It is about 49 degrees here in Michigan. And those people who love numbers, it is 2/4/24, February 4th. And surprisingly warm for still winter time. So let me turn the camera around and let's do a garden walk. So we're starting here by these thuja, gorgeous cedar, and we're walking down our ramp that separates our home from our next door neighbors. And we're heading toward the lake. We're not exactly going to go close to the lake. The lake is still mostly frozen, and so is the ground. But it is still beautiful. So our property goes from that lighthouse to the birdhouse. And then this is under our deck. We still have lots of wood for fire. We're going to go check out how things are going. There's lots of frost. I don't know if you can see that, the whiteness. So it is pretty frosty still. Not exactly planting time, but I certainly should get in here and trim these roses. They're not my favorite, like I've mentioned in the past, and the ivy needs to be trimmed. It has reached the wall, which is not a good thing. So this bed needs to be worked on. It had some wonderful marigolds, great big marigolds, yellow and orange, and it was beautiful. And I might try just spreading a few of these seeds in here, see if we can get more to grow. Yep, I do enjoy this view. Getting up and down that hill is getting a little bit challenging. But I do have a garden down there that I should visit every once in a while. I had somebody come and clean it, so the hostas are nice, neatly cleaned. So one day we'll go down there and check that out. So we're going to go to the front of the house now. So as we come back up the ramp, you see we have still lots of snow. This is where it gets piled. But as we come around here, you can see there's still life. There's sage plant growing in there, and our Lenten roses. So they probably need to be trimmed, because if we look closely, there are blooms coming up here. So we'll get rid of those ugly dead leaves. But honestly, it is still early February, and I'm thinking it gives it some kind of protection. We are on our front porch, and you can see the heuchera, both the chartreuse one and the deep purple, looking super good. The Brunnera dies down right to the base, and I don't see any signs of life there. However, if we look closely, you can see the daffodils are waking up, wanting to come through. Yep. And as I mentioned, the ground is kind of frozen. Right here it's sort of protected, so it's not as frozen as the rest of it. Right here, I call this in the springtime Primrose Lane, because primrose are so early. In fact, there might be one in bloom right there. Just takes a little bit of encouragement, and primrose want to burst forth. I absolutely love them as a spring flower. Up here, our apple tree, still absolutely loaded with apples. The squirrels haven't done much damage to cleaning these up. Lots of them on the ground. We'll have to pick them up. We need a special rake to get those. Be trimming the grapevine pretty soon. I like to trim that before too much into the springtime. But you don't want to trim it too early, otherwise it'll be too cold for it. Well, there's lots of work here with the mums needing to be cut back. Another beautiful winter and spring plant is this myrtle. It's gorgeous when it blooms, but there's still lots of snow. My herb garden is practically under snow. You can see my elephant garlic back there. Still underneath all this snow, is still wanting to grow. The buddleia is needing to be cut back. That one comes right from the ground, so it doesn't bloom on old wood, so to speak. But this particular buddleia, you can actually see where the leaves are still. But still, that needs to be cut back, otherwise it can get 16 feet tall. And underneath all that mat are the hosta. They didn't get cleaned up like the ones down by the lake. So next, when the ground thaws, we'll be cleaning this up. Same thing with our lacy maple here. It dies right back. And then there's lots of clumps left that have to be pulled away so that it can breathe. Do love this bush. Actually, this pair of bushes. Down here, you can actually see the two trunks. Here's the peony bread, still under snow. But it just feels so glorious, that sun shining. Here's our garden. The beginning of the garden is the cattle panel. And then we head over here. And we've had potatoes and all kinds of things in here. Tomatoes, celery, still the remnants of celery. I don't know if they'd be any good. Here's our raised beds with our leeks. I'm gonna put more soil in here, and then we can plant. These beds were put to the bed for the winter with straw. And this one was still growing. Let's check that out. We have some Swiss chard in here. It looks like it's a little limp, but it's definitely edible. So here we are in the elderberry patch. This is the black lace elderberry, and the standard. This is a hibiscus, hardy hibiscus, 2 of them. And they come right from the base. They don't grow on old wood. I wonder if the gladiolas will try to make their way back. It's February and still exciting to be in the garden. Here's our entrance garden. And then our forsythia. They get trimmed after they bloom, so you don't cut off any blooms, but you can see here some little buds taking place. We should have some flowers. That's always fun to see. And here's our final garden. I generally cut back those grass, and I do the chop and drop where I use the grass as a mulch. You can actually see, well, you can see my shadow, but you can see some iris and heuchera. Yep. You can actually see a little bit of life there. Same here. Looks like we're getting some growth. Well, that's it. And thank you for joining me in this winter walk through the gardens, checking out our white pine. Always lovely to see evergreens. So thank you so much. If you liked the video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. I appreciate it. And until next time, this is Mary, Gardening with Granny.